Hi there, in this video I'm going to explain about the service provider consent. So according to new UK laws, we need to obtain the consent of service providers if we want to store personal data about them, and this includes our assessments of their work. So this means that if we want to store details of an assessment on BrookCheck, we have to get the agreement of the service provider for this, and we also need to explain to them how we will use their data. So this video explains how the mobile version of BrookCheck manages getting the consent of service providers. So I'm going to open up BrookCheck and have a look. So just while we're waiting, one thing to note is that BrookCheck will ask you to obtain consent from the service provider the first time you carry out an assessment with them, but it only happens with surveys for service providers because we're recording their name. So you won't be asked, for example, if we're doing a SEBWOT survey or an OBM survey. So let's try a survey with a service provider. Let's try the work-based assessment. So I'm going to go through and select service providers, work-based assessment. Okay. Now, it asks for the mandatory questions, so let's select David Kimani and put in all the other details as well. Now, this is the first time that we've done an assessment with David Kimani, so look what happens. The service consent form now appears. As an assessor, what you need to do is to read this text to the service provider. So I will do that. So Brook UK would like to store your name along with our assessments of your work. Brook UK will use this information only to help you improve animal welfare or to help us improve the quality of our work. Brook UK will store this information outside your country. Brook UK will not share personal details without your consent unless required by law, apart from with our suppliers who process data for us. If you change your mind, please tell a Brook officer and we will delete your information. Or, if you'd like more details, our officer can provide you with a privacy statement next time they see you. So if you agree to Brook UK storing your data and are older than 18 years, please tell our programme officer now so they can record your consent. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but basically we need to go over all of those points with the service provider. And if they agree, we can tap I agree, but if not, you will unfortunately need to end the assessment. So if the service provider doesn't agree, you can of course still mentor them and you can still use the paper version of the tool, but you can't use BrookCheck because we will be storing their personal data on our database and they haven't given their consent. So hoping that they do give their consent, you tap I agree. And once you've synced your tablet back in the office, this form will not appear again. So that's actually the end of this video. If you have any other questions about service provider consent, please ask us or please ask Moto Michikata, and thanks for watching. That's the end of the video.